Shalom and good day all, this is Tehilling29 back again for graphic novels I've recently read through, and as you will see on the thumbnail, this is covering graphic novels I've read between July and September 2024, so hopefully I'll still be around physically to get more reviews done by the time that this video is out. I don't know if I will or not be. If not, expect me to be DEAD because of a terrible government here in Australia. But let's move on to some more things that are a little bit more fun, and that is the area of graphic novels. So here I have at least 21 graphic novels that I've been recently reading through between July and September. There would have been another one sort of like between July and August, but due to some of the things that have been happening, it's caused a bit of a delay in getting these reviews done. So starting off with the titles that we've got here, we have Family Time, we have something by Brian Michael Bendis, Pearl, Volume 1 and Volume 2, we have Volume 3 of Berserker, we have Action Comics by Philip Kennedy Johnson, having to do with the Warworld saga. We also have King Spawn Volume 3, Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, and really nice art in there too. We have Vanish by Donny Cates, Robins Being Robin by Tim Seeley. We have The Ones, again by Brian Michael Bendis, and I still sort of stick with my rating which I gave the series. We have, of course, the terrible retconned version of John Kent of the Bendis Taylor run. We have the Batman Audio Adventures, which is really worth picking up, and I advise you to pick it up because of the stories in it and how good they are. We have Batman Urban Legends, The Ambassadors by Mark Millar, Batman, Robin and Batman by Jeff Lemire, which is really good. We have The Vigil, Spirit World, City Boy, and last but not least, DC vs. Vampires, Volume 2. So moving back into the first one that we see here, Family Time, I must admit, I did enjoy reading the original issues in relation to this series, but to pick up the trade paperback, which had like all of the issues, because I didn't manage to get a hold of them all. Upon reading and finishing it, it would actually be, I did quite like the art for the story, so overall I'm giving this story an 8 out of 10. Now moving on to some independent storytelling, and that is some Brian Michael Bendis. Of course, Pearl, this is the volumes that were released through DC Comics, not through where he is now. For this, I give the story, character, art, a 6.5 out of 10, because I feel that there's some things that need to be fixed up in the story, which he doesn't really get across really well, and there are some places in the story where it feels like it does come across well. Next is Berserker, which links to Keanu Reeves. For this, I give Volume 3 a 7 out of 10. Action Comics Warworld Revolution. It was really good rereading for this again, even though I did cover the singles on my channel. For this, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. At least we've got a writer here who actually knows how to write. John Kent, as well as Damian Wayne's interactions. Not like the loser Tom Taylor and Brian Michael Bendis. Moving into King Spawn, Volume 3, which follows more of the King Spawn offshoot of the Spawn universe. For this, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Moving into Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. I did manage to pick up some of the single issues of this, but I didn't get to complete the whole series. But upon like reading the rest of the story here, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Next we have Donny Cates' Vanish, to which I give a 7.5 out of 10. It's almost like an indie Batman type story, but there's like more happening there. Moving into Robin's Being Robin, with Tim Seeley on it. Tim Seeley can sometimes deliver some good stories, but sometimes he can deliver some bad stories, and this is one of those mix of a bit of both. To which I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Moving into the ones. Upon rereading this and how ridiculous this series is, maybe this thing should get a 1 out of 10 and just be rebooted from the beginning. I like the idea though. I do like the idea and concept of the story, but the execution sometimes fails in some parts. So overall, probably a 4.5 out of 10, more so than a 1 out of 10. Next is the Son of Kal-El series. If you saw my ratings for that, if anything, this series belongs in Fool's Gold. To which I'd give it a minus 10 out of 10. Because of the terrible retcons and how they ruined John Samuel Kent. All care of Brian Michael Bendis, of course. And next we have the Batman Audio Adventures, to which I really enjoyed the stories in this, along with the art, to which I give an 8 out of 10. The Batman Urban Legends there, we have, of course, a bit of an anthology of stories, some really good ones, to which overall I give a 7.5 out of 10. Moving into The Ambassadors by Mark Millar, a 7.5 out of 10. I do like the idea of the series. The Robin and Batman by Jeff Lemire. Have really enjoyed quite a bit of what Jeff Lemire has put out story-wise in regards to this, an 8 out of 10. Moving into The Vigil, Spirit World and City Boy. Seeing that these were a part of a new line, I'd like to probably give them a 7.5 out of 10, as I do quite like the idea of some of these characters, but I've actually learned something in relation to City Boy's character. He's actually a character that is sort of like connected more to the Wildstorm universe, more so than the main DC universe, upon like further reading within the book. So I don't know why they didn't choose to sort of like keep him more in the Wildstorm universe instead of the DC universe, but I did enjoy what Greg Pak did with the character, and I hope we get to see more from the character. That's not to say that Greg Pak can deliver some terrible stories, but he can also deliver some great stories too. And last but not least, DC vs. Vampires Volume 2, with Tinian and Rosenberg on the title. I give this a bit of a 6.5 out of 10 because I think some of the concepts of some of these vampires these days are terrible. And since I've watched some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I actually quite like how the vampires are done in that. Well, until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.